Welcome back to the X Podcast. We're so glad to have you, and it might look a little bit different at the table, the long table, but I do have Zachary, stick your toes in the sand, Zachary. I don't know what he used to call you.
Russ.
Okay, we can get rid of him.
That.
We can get rid of him.
That.
We buried him, and we did not bury him.
No.
So if you're just joining us, Russ is on a little bit of a break. Mm-hmm. We kicked him out for a little bit. He'll be back in a little while. And so I've got Zachary, who loves to be on the podcast, with me today.
Yeah.
And how are you doing? How's your summer so far? Because you also went on a trip. We talked about it.
I did. It's been great, man. Just hanging out. I was on a bit of a sabbatical. I think we mentioned that.
Yeah.
And I'm now back. It's been interesting coming back into work and trying to get my bearings and get all that figured out. You realize, like, you get rhythms for when you're gone, and then you got to, like, get rhythms for coming back and just getting your body readjusted. I mean, it sounds kind of silly, but like when you're gone for a amount of time, like just you don't realize like how much mental stress, and I don't know, everyone's got stress and load because of their jobs, but you just realize how much of that you're carrying and it affects you.
Speaking of body adjusting.
Yeah, what about it?
You look good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I just want to say, you've been doing a lot of hard work. And stuff, and you look good.
Thank you.
Svelte. Is that the word?
Svelte. I'll take it. Suave. Just call me Rico Suave.
You look good. And speaking of summer, at the time we're recording this, I don't know when this episode's going to come out. We're almost back to school.
It's insane.
That's crazy.
This week has started all the back to school stuff with like sports and like kids' dentist appointments and like making sure they're good to go and all the things. I mean, the schedule between now and the end of August is just insane for us.
And I think I was just looking at the date we released this episode. I think it's going to be this week. It'll be August.
Oh,
so we're going to be in August.
Now you know what that means, right?
What's that mean? Oh yeah. Hey,
we can talk about
Russ
this
is gone. We can talk football.
Yes.
You know what? We interrupt this broadcast for a very important change of topic.
Yeah.
We're just going to talk football. Let's talk about. Okay, we won't bore our audience, but you and I are both pretty excited for a new football season. I know you love football.
Yes.
That's your favorite sport.
Yep. No doubt.
You played it for a year.
More than one.
Or two. Or 8.
13.
I don't know. 13 years.
13 years.
Played it for 13 years. He played.
Sacrificed my body.
He played for the New England Patriots for 3 years. Most
Amen.
people don't know that.
Amen.
That's not true.
Tom Brady and I are like on best
I forgot
friends.
Russ isn't here. I shouldn't lie in his place. There's something about when you're kind of hosting. You do. I get it now. I feel like this is why Russ lies all the time. But football is back, which means here's what I get excited about. 2 versions of football. And then we'll move on. Ohio State football.
Yep. 100%. They're going to be better than what people think.
I hope so.
I think they are. Julian's saying.
Ohio State football and, I guess the NFL, Bengals football. Okay. For me, Bengals. For you, it is who? Do we know who the team is?
Not the Browns, but it's the San Francisco 49ers.
So anyways, just for those who do not care about this, and that's fine.
I'm a diehard Cleveland fan.
Cleveland Browns fan,
Yep.
not a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, which I am.
No,
he is a
whoa.
bandwagon fan
Time out.
who jumps on whatever team LeBron is. So he
That's
was a
not true.
Miami fan, and now was a Cleveland fan for a couple years. Now he's back to being a Lakers fan.
Okay, time out.
Whatever.
Okay, time out. My grandfather, first of all, when it comes to Cleveland, my grandfather sat me down and said, son, your last name is Brown. We've been Browns fans our entire life. You're going to be a Browns fan. So I was doomed from the beginning.
Cursed.
Yeah, cursed from the beginning, quite literally. All I've known is Browns football since 1999.
Oh, yeah.
And if you know anything about the NFL, you know it's not been good.
No. Probably the worst run ever. Worst run.
34 quarterbacks
Worst
since
run.
1999.
That's pretty awful.
It's pretty awful.
Yeah.
So this year, I just finally had enough. I just said, I am putting my Browns fandom on hold. I am looking for another team. I'm a free agent, and I'm doing this.
I don't buy it.
I'm doing this for my son.
I don't buy it.
I'm
That's
doing
good of you to do.
I'm doing this for my son.
You know what you should do? You should get him to be a Bengals fan.
No.
Because this year I think there's a lot of potential.
I do think
You
this.
think so?
I think this could be the Bengals year.
Come on.
Objectively, I do think it could be the Bengals year.
I know. We'll see.
We'll see.
You know what? I thought that last year, and then they came out and lost the first 5 games, I think.
Yeah, they did.
And the year before that. And the year before that.
This is the year
they
they're
always
gonna turn
start
around.
slow. Anyways, we'll see. This is not a podcast about football. What I wanted to talk about was something that has swept the internet
I know, it's insane.
over the last week and a half,
It's been crazy.
2 weeks. It's about a concert.
Yeah.
A concert. There's so many
Angles.
yeah, there's so many perspectives that have come out of it. But if you have lived it all on the internet for the last last week and a half, sorry, you would have noticed a lot of memes, a lot of joking, at what kind of is a really sad story behind it.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the Coldplay concert.
Yeah. So just for setting it up, Coldplay, one of the most probably well-known, famous, popular rock bands out there, was doing a concert.
Do we call them rock?
Rock, alternative, maybe?
Pop, modern? I don't know.
This is really bad.
Pastor
Trey, if you're listening, don't judge.
I think I've seen Coldplay in person, actually.
They were one of my favorite Super Bowl halftime acts, by the way.
Yeah.
They did really good. So they were doing a concert. I don't know what city they were doing the concert in. Anyways, but they were doing Kiss Cam. Now, Kiss Cam has
Have
been
you ever
a
been
part.
at a sporting event and you've been afraid that the Kiss Cam was going to hit on
Be
you?
on me? No.
Yeah, like depending on whether even you're sitting there with your wife and you're like, oh, please, not me, not me.
I've never thought that before. But I don't really think about. I'm always like, oh, that's fun, but I never think about it happening to me.
Okay.
But this couple should have been thinking about
Oh, geez.
if it happened to them, because in the moment, there's a Kiss Cam, there's a Jumbotron, and it shows these two people kind of seemingly locked in this really sweet embrace, holding on to one another.
An affectionate type of hold.
An affectionate type of hold. And ironically, so when the camera pans to them, like they realize they're on the Kiss Cam and they immediately
hide.
freak out and they hide and they duck, and it's a little awkward if you're watching it. And so to break up the awkwardness, the lead singer of Coldplay, his name's Chris Martin, he says this on the microphone, like to the entire concert.
Yeah.
He says, either they're just having an affair or they're just really shy.
Yeah.
Turns out they were having an affair.
Oh my gosh.
The person in the video, he was the CEO of a company called
Astronomer.
Astronomer. Which
It's not about astronomy.
what do they do though?
I think it was about data.
Are they
It was something
tech?
about data.
Something
Yeah, I think it was
tech.
a tech data thing.
And the woman he was with, who was not his wife, was the head of all of HR department, which so many
So many ironic.
I know things in
Things
this
about
moment, and they were having an affair. There was a firestorm that kind of erupted from
It
it.
became viral.
Yeah, they. I think he stepped down within 48 hours, a couple
It
days
was
afterwards.
quickly.
Like he took a leave of absence.
Yeah.
and then I think not too long after that, he just announced he was resigning or stepping away.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the board asked for his resignation.
Yeah, and I'm
And then
sure.
she just resigned.
Did she just resign? I haven't seen
She
that.
resigned, I think, a
Yeah.
little bit ago, if I recall.
But then what was crazy is like not only was like just the irony of the moment insane, but as you said, the viralness of it
Oh my.
swept everything. I mean, there were stadiums the next day that I think were like posting memes, or like in stadiums they like, I think the Nationals in DC, they like were like recreated the moment.
There were different like sports figures that recreated the moment.
Yeah.
There was mascots
Yeah.
that did.
Oh yeah.
There's a
That's what-
mascot. So here's the thing I want to say, because it's become such a popular. This sounds so bad, but there's so many people weighing in, because in one sense it's become the latest meme/joke
Yeah.
of the internet.
Yeah.
But it's really a tragedy
Yeah.
behind it, because both of them, I've heard a lot of different reports. I'm pretty sure both of them were married.
Yes. I know for sure the CEO.
I know
was.
CEO was. There was. It's uncertain. Supposedly she wasn't married at the time. Or they were separated, or maybe divorced. But then
I
other
heard
people said
separated.
no, that they were. So I don't know. You know what happened was the internet sleuths went to work to immediately figure out who they were, what's going on, and I feel like the pain, man. I can imagine being their spouses, and that's how you find out. Like, that's how your kids are going to find out.
Yes.
Like, so I don't want to. We're not making light of it. It's a really awful, awful thing.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of, it's a fascinating day in society on how we deal with those things and how we think about marriage, how we think about adultery. I mean, we've heard a variety of different people come out about this and give different perspectives on it. And so I don't know. I was just I just was curious, like, what your experience has been when you saw it. Like, what I don't know, what comes to your mind when you see it? Because the funniest one, I hate it. You almost feel bad saying this because you know that there's some people really in pain over something like this. Even though I think the moment that caught them is what's being viral, not the act of what they were doing.
Yeah.
But the funniest one I think I saw is that people were changing their faces, and I saw one with Dwight and Pam from The Office.
I think I saw that one.
Did you
too.
see that one?
Yeah.
Like, that one made me laugh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't want to make. We're not making light of what actually happened, but the internet is
Savage.
undefeated.
Savage.
It is savage, and I think that's some of what you've seen. Is that imagine having probably one of your worst moments / mistakes / sins / whatever you want to say, broadcast like that, being exposed like that, and then having the entire world weigh in on it.
Oh, I know. I can't even imagine. And I want to be cautious in how I say this, but like for me, I've seen firsthand the effects that this type of situation can have on a family. I've seen firsthand the effects that it can have on the kids in the process, and I think that in the rush to get clicks, is that bad to say, or get likes, or to get attention, it's just really easy to slap Donald Trump and Elon Musk's face on the people and put it out there and take advantage of someone's pain. And it is fascinating that we live in a culture that kind of trivializes that. But one of the most interesting things that I saw was just talking about some of the ramifications. Like, and then the first is the money. Like, everyone's talking about the money. So there's
Wait, speaking of money, hold on, before you even get to that.
Yeah.
Did you see the official letter that the CEO's wife put out?
No.
Oh, you didn't see her statement? Oh,
Was it pretty brutal?
Oh, her statement was, it was kind of, the best way I can describe it, it was one of those, it was, I don't know the best way to describe it. It was kind of one, not like, woe's me, this is that. It was like really strong. It was like, you better be ready now because I'm coming for you.
Well, I mean, I don't blame her.
I immediately have done this, and this when it comes to financially. I know what you're worth. I know blah, blah, blah. Like, this is, I want to say it was like a revenge statement. It was like, I'm not hurt. I'm mad.
I'm coming for blood. What's the phrase? Hell hath no fury
like a woman scorned.
Like a woman scorned.
Like, dude, I mean, her statement was so when you talk about money and financial, she put it out there like it's on.
I'm coming for blood.
I mean, it was not one of those, we just respect our privacy. We're going through a lot. It was like what you did. I mean, if you haven't seen it, you could go out there. It's out there. Her statement, her public statement was bold.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I want to say it was bold.
Now, again, I don't know. There's a ton of speculation about the money, so I don't know if these figures are true or not. These are just some things I have found on the internet. Everyone's talking about the money. There's $25 million in potential divorce, attorney fees, net worth. This person was CEO of a fairly decent company. I mean, so annual salary estimated $500,000 a year or more. Like, that's gone. So you lose that.
How long do you have to be a CEO at $500,000 a year to be worth $25 million?
I don't know.
Unless you're getting other money. That's a pretty big net worth for a $500,000
company
salary.
stake, other properties, maybe different things like that they own.
I digress.
And then $12 million estimated company stake
maybe that's
at
part
risk.
Of it.
Maybe that's part of it too. We're not talking a little bit of money. I mean, that is generational, life changing. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Looks like it'll be shared.
Yes.
So what you're driving at probably is
not just
impact.
The impact.
I think that's one thing we should
talk about.
Let's talk about what is the impact of divorce,
yes,
adultery. Like, the impact has bigger ramifications than just a relationship lost.
Correct. So there's financial.
Yep.
But there's also more. I mean, here's just some other stats that I've seen that are just kind of crazy. So the CEO, his name's Andy. He's got 2 children. Here's just some stats with kids. Kids who are a product of divorce homes, they're 2 times more likely to drop out of school, 3 times more likely to experience like instability or violence, 4 times more likely to suffer from mental illness. Not to mention, if you have a son, their divorce rate is 35% or higher now. Like it's going
Wow.
to continue on. And for girls, it's even worse. Daughters have a 60% chance of a higher divorce rate. And I just think there's this whole idea that I think sometimes you can get from a marriage that like it's just centered around you and like what you want, what you get out of it. But the truth is that not only is there financial fallout from all of this, but when adultery happens, and specifically when divorce happens because of adultery, there's a ton of fallout that impacts some of the people that you're probably closest to in life in a lot of really negative ways. And what's really terrible is that for the wife, for the kids especially, like they didn't choose any of this.
No.
Like this,
No.
like they don't get any say in the matter. Now, I'm not saying that they don't now have an opportunity to rise above or figure it out, but like I think sometimes it's easy in a rush to make fun of a viral situation to forget that there are kids now whose story is going to be when they go to meet someone. Yeah, you remember that moment where a CEO went viral for cheating on? Yeah, that was my dad. Like how do you even like begin to process that like with someone as you grow older and figure that out? And that
goes with you.
It's a lot. It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, there's just so much impact that happens through divorce, and then when it's so public.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad for his wife. Same thing with her husband, their kids.
Yeah.
The people who are impacted. And I think that's one of the things that I think is not really talked about very much.
No.
It is in some circles, but everything that's really going around is more about the viral moment.
Yeah. Not about the fallout.
And then people turn it into something funny. And then there's a lot of hate, obviously, all in the world that has come out against him and her, and understandably.
Yeah.
Then I also think, I wonder, how many other people in that stadium were probably engaged in something similar,
More than what people think.
but the camera didn't catch them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we have to be careful in just our responses. The first thing we do is judge somebody else. Not saying it wasn't wrong. It's obviously, it's clear it's wrong in the way we respond in moments like that. But I do think about the fallout of our actions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we don't think sometimes. I understand that's the whole idea of an affair. It's like there can be all kinds of things wrong with the relationship. It may not be going well. You feel ignored. You all this stuff, and now someone at work is giving you attention, and they're this. And I think any of us can be in a situation where unintentionally you can find yourself just beginning to like, oh, wow, they give me a lot of attention. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, they laughed at my jokes. Yep. Oh, wow, they think I'm, this. And my wife or my husband is ignoring me, and they're not spending time with me, and they don't think I'm valuable, and they don't this. And, your mind starts going, and next thing you know, you start building an emotional bridge to someone who's not your spouse. I'm just saying, we all have to understand that we're all capable of that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And it happens even without you realizing it, I think, at times, because it's so subtle. Like, that moment for them was not the beginning of the end. That was the end result of probably a process that they went under. And it's, there's books written about the anatomy of an affair and how it comes together. But I think this is why it's important to have the conversation about the fallout, though, because I think it can begin to bring awareness to what happens when this happens. Not that you want to use fear to prevent you from doing something, but I think like it's just really easy when you get into a situation like that, or you find yourself maybe going down a slope like that's the first thing that leaves. And and I think that perspective can help ground you as you think about, what are the consequences that could happen as a result of this.
Well, I think it's also one of those kind of moments that would remind us before we go down any path think about the cost of it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we just don't.
We just
I
do,
get it.
do
We
it
don't,
feels right.
We do what feels right.
Yes.
We're just following our heart. We're
Yes.
just, that's, what I want. And then when you see somebody, when you get caught and the consequences that go with it, all of a sudden there's incredible regret, remorse. I'm sure that CEO and that HR director probably feel all of that.
Yeah.
And then what you lose, you were to say to him, probably go back a year or who knows before that relationship started, that, hey, if you were to do this, and showed him a picture, of like, hey, this is what is going to happen to your family, with your kids,
Would you
this or
still
that.
choose that?
All of a sudden you'd go, oh, I don't know if that's worth it.
No.
And we don't oftentimes think of the consequences before and that could be anything, and not just adultery, anything
Yeah.
that we do. And
Yeah.
go ahead, I was going to say there's an interesting spin out of this that I would love to kind of unpack
Yes.
with you as well.
Yeah. So there's so many takes about this, and of course, when you have a viral moment like this culturally in the internet age, everyone starts weighing in with different takes and thoughts and whatever. Now, understand, we talked about this a lot on this podcast. We're both pastors.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a Christian context, and for us, marriage is a very important construct.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very important part of who we are, how we understand things, and we have a high view of marriage, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And there is someone, I'm not going to say his name, unless you want me to, but I'm not going to say his name. He's someone who would probably share that same view of marriage. In fact, probably holds an even higher degree or high view of it, in the sense that all this fallout, all the ramifications, all the negative consequences of adultery are so bad, and it's so wrong to commit adultery in this person's mind, that he posted an opinion on the internet. Now, it's just an opinion. It's just a thought, but this was
Hold
his.
on. Before you say this,
Yes.
I do have zero problem with talking about the back and forth conversation between these two guys
Okay.
and saying who they are.
Okay.
Because I think if you follow either of them,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's what I think that's what you're referring to, right?
Yes.
So when you follow this online conversation that two people who have very different perspectives on marriage
Yeah.
have, I think it's fine for people to show that I think they represent a different portion of how people view things.
Yeah.
And so your point, and then I'll let you go ahead and talk about it, was the way we view marriage is maybe different than maybe someone who doesn't see it as a spiritual union,
Yes.
doesn't see it as a construct that God created, that
Correct.
doesn't hold it in that type of sacred
Yes.
realm.
Yes.
I think in general, even in our culture, in our secular culture, I think in general, people feel like relationships, for the most part, are supposed to be monogamous.
I would agree.
I'd say for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
I'd say
I think there's
it's
a
like
rise.
anybody gets. I think regardless of whether someone has a spiritual background, whether or not they see marriage as being a sacred union, it doesn't matter. I think people in general. I think majority of people. I think you're seeing a
I would
different.
agree.
Majority of people would go, no, you shouldn't go cheat on that person.
I would agree.
And then if you're with one person, you should just be with one person. I
Regar-
think that's the traditional view, regardless of
It
how you
is.
view marriage.
Yeah, if you're saying I do at the altar,
Then-
regardless of if you are Christian or hold this view of marriage or not, most people think it's for life
Yeah.
with just that person.
And so I think a lot of hate has come out, and it's not like just from people who hold that marriage is sacred.
Mm-hmm.
I think people would just for empathy for the other spouses
Yes.
would come out because they know that's horrible to do
Yes.
to someone.
Yes.
Right? We would
Yes.
see it as maybe add a sacred level to it. It adds an intensity to it. But I
Yes.
think we all see that. So I think it's okay to say that there was an interesting
Take.
back and forth.
Yes. Between
One
two
of them
guys.
is Andrew Tate.
Yep. And if you're not familiar with him, I would say he's on the right politically
Okay.
on some things. There's a term going around called manosphere. There's kind of a rise of let's say a social online influencers
Okay.
who speak to malehood. I don't know if that's the right word, but to what's happening in our culture with men right now, and kind of pointing out some things that are they think wrong with how men are being treated in manly approach.
I would say this. I don't know what it's being called right now.
Yeah.
But culturally, what I see
Yeah.
is there's been such a movement of feminism,
Yes.
whether you're talking about the Me Too movement,
Yep.
movement,
Yes.
whether you're talking even about, believe it or not, but the actual, I'm not talking about the phrase, but rather the organization like BLM, Black Lives Matter, that's run by women who are trying to get rid of the nuclear family.
Yeah.
There's a variety of, there's just been a movement that I would say was probably attached to more liberation
Yes.
of female
Yes.
that has,
Concepts you can trace back to the 60s and 70s through sexual
Yeah.
revolution and all that.
and some of it I just want to say I totally get, because I think women have not been treated equally at all times, and men have at times abused, and still we see it, abused positions of authority and power and relationship, all that kind of stuff.
Yes. I agree.
But what I think is over the past probably 10 years, 15 years, that this has become such a popular thing that now there's almost a crisis for manhood, masculinity.
Yeah.
There's so many different things out there about masculinity that men, I think, even growing up, young men, don't even know what it looks like to be a man. Almost what you'd seen predominantly in the media, social media more, was just like men are bad and men are the cause of problems and men are the oppressors and men are this. And so because of that, I think there's been this weird shift. I think what we're now seeing is because you get a swing, the pendulum, it goes really far one way. Now you're seeing people like Andrew Tate come up and they're like swinging it back the opposite way, really extreme.
Yes.
So I don't know what else he's famous for. Apparently he's very wealthy, and
He's very wealthy. He's got some real big legal troubles, legal problems.
Okay.
Has been in jail overseas. Actually,
No.
I need to fact check this. I might fact check it live. I'm pretty sure Donald Trump pardoned him.
Really?
Potentially.
So
for
I thought
some
he was a
crimes.
fighter, and it does say I think he was a kickboxing world champion, right? Is that right or no?
I
Was
think
he,
at one
I don't know
point.
if he was. I just
Yes.
saw something, but I think he was either a mixed martial arts fighter of some type.
Yes.
But he's become really popular online, socially, influencer.
Yes.
And I think influencing men,
In particular, I'd say young men too.
young men.
Young men are they like what he has. He speaks to something primal,
Yep.
something that feels like this is what masculinity should be, and it's a pushback against what he would say. I'm not saying I say this, like the effemination of men
Yeah.
in our culture and our society. I don't know if I just made that word up, but like I think-
Effemination.
effemination. So you have him on one side. The other side, where I was starting to go with this, is you have another influencer,
Very conservative.
very conservative, both politically and theologically. He's Catholic in his theology. His name's Matt Walsh. He has a podcast. He has a blog. I think he's done stuff for Turning Point, which is Charlie Kirk's thing. He's very familiar with all sorts of, I would say right-wing influencers. There's a lot of people who follow him. He is very active in his commentary on what's happening culturally, socially, politically. And he has, I would say extreme sounds crazy, but like very strong theological words or takes when it comes to these things. So he put
They
out there.
got into it, kind of. Not in a bad way, but they got into it on social media. And what was the gist of it?
So because Matt Walsh has this, I would say, high view of marriage, even sacred, as you said, he put out there that adultery should come with a literal corporal, like bodily, physical punishment for the people caught in adultery in our society today. And
Just a physical punishment, like a beating? Or I thought it was more like prison. Like I thought he was saying it should be outlawed,
no,
illegal.
He put on Twitter, you can go look at it.
Okay.
I just confirmed it was there.
Okay.
That people should get 20 lashes and
We're
put
going
in
back.
the stockades.
Oh my.
No, I don't know if he literally means that, but like when I say corporal punishment, I mean
Yeah.
he is talking about an
Public
extreme
floggings.
red letter A on the chest. Like it's that bad.
Okay.
Now that caused a reaction
Yeah.
from Andrew. Andrew tweeted back at him and he said, "You're missing the point. It's because of the fact that this woman, and as we stated at the beginning, she's coming for him financially. Because of like the fact that there's all this fallout that could happen from divorce. This is preventing young people, in particular young men, from actually wanting to get married in the first place. He then goes on this tirade. That's the best way I could describe it. And there's back and forth, both of them, where basically Andrew Tate's vision for masculinity and culture when it comes to relationships is that basically monogamy is an outdated construct, and it is not the best ideal for human flourishing, and that polygamy is actually best for men and for the way to operate. And Matt Walsh,
You were telling
on
me
the
you
other
agreed
side.
with that.
no, I did not agree with that. But yes, no.
Okay, so back and forth. So basically the 2 points, and I just wanted to, I think what we wanted to do is at least just take a moment and say, hey, let's acknowledge this kind of big viral moment.
Yeah.
And then what is kind of, what we kind of are talking about that we see culturally is when there's new, I want to say new, it's probably not new, but when certain thoughts start to gain momentum culturally, that it does affect the way people view things like marriage.
Yes.
So you get Matt Walsh, who's basically saying, hey, if you mess up, there's such a cost to the kids. I think he also pointed to some of those numbers, financial, the impact of society, that we should publicly flog someone, put them in stockades, let everybody laugh, make fun of them so that they learn their lesson to never do it again.
Correct.
Then you get Andrew Tate, who basically says you should never get married.
Yes.
Because you're losing your opportunity. You're putting yourself at risk.
Yes.
I think he uses
To
the
lose
term
all that stuff.
king.
Yes.
Right? Does he talk a lot about being like,
you are the king of
you're
your
the
own
king,
kingdom, and you don't need anyone who's attached to that legally through marriage having a say in that.
And he just is fine with like, you should have as many kids as you can with as many women as you can. And basically marriage is, I don't know if he said this or not, but marriage is almost created by women.
Yes.
I don't know if he said that, though. I don't want to put words in his mouth.
He would say that culturally the construct is a control mechanism for men to get men to basically it's domestication. So what do you?
Where do you land? You have 2 choices: flog them or never marry them. Which one is it going to be? If you had to land on that.
Oh man!
Here's what I want to say. I don't necessarily agree with both of those.
Yeah, no.
I think that I understand the idea of corporal punishment, but there's a reason why we stopped doing that hundreds of years ago for the most part.
Yes.
There's a reason why we did that. And I don't know that I trust our judicial system with anything, let alone that, at all. And so I don't agree. I understand where Matt Walsh is coming from in this idea that it is such there's such a bad outcome when this happens that how else do you deter? But here's what I found. I don't think you can deter people from doing sinful things by legal consequences. I mean, you can, and we have some. It is an interesting thing, but I do not see in our current secular culture where any lawmakers that we have, Washington, whatever, would ever agree to passing federal law or individual state laws that would say adultery is actually illegal.
No, because half the lawmakers are probably committing adultery.
Yeah, I didn't even want to say it, but I'm just saying I don't see that ever happening.
Yeah.
And here's what I just believe: what changes the heart is not legal consequences, but there's actually has to be an internal change.
Yeah.
Right. What changes the actions, I should say, should be something in the heart, not something that's a ramification for doing it.
Now, what Matt Walsh does go on to say, because I agree with you about the corporal punishment and where you're going from a legal standpoint, but he does talk about the role of a father with specifically his children, and because Andrew Tate would go on to explain that you should have as many kids with as many women as you want. You're building your kingdom. You are basically ensuring genetic bloodlines are continuing. I mean, there's a lot.
Basically using women
there's
for your benefit.
Yeah, it's not.
Right?
It's not
I mean,
good.
that's what you're doing.
Yes.
It's for your bloodline. I mean, it is kingship.
It is.
It is. It's the whole idea of old kings. You can read about in the Old Testament. Had multiple wives.
Yes.
And it was all to benefit the kingdom.
Yes.
and their bloodline.
And Matt Walsh, I think correctly, and I would agree with him on this, that there's something about the power of a father who is a daily presence in his kid's life that makes all the difference for the next generation.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is something that both you and I would say yes and amen to.
Yeah.
There's an importance in showing up every day for your children and being faithful to your wife and being an example in that regard, that if we begin to lose that and that breaks down culturally,
Yeah.
man, I think the implications from that could be really scary.
Yeah.
And what happens?
I just want to say, and again, we just wanted to have this conversation just to kind of, because whenever thoughts like this, like Andrew Tate and Matt Walsh and they're influencers, which right now I'm going to say when it comes to men, especially young men, there is no real clear understanding of masculinity.
They have both of them have millions of followers.
Yes.
They have a lot. If you think these are extreme views, I understand that, but understand that there's a lot of people who
Yes.
go to these people for these kind of views.
And right now, especially at this time in culture, but I can look back and say that this is an ongoing thread, is that men don't know what it looks like to be a man.
Yeah.
And I want to say the further you get away from what I believe gives a beautiful model, not every person in Scripture is someone to model, but what came out of the early church when it comes to marriage is the idea of fidelity was something that really got started with the first church.
Yeah.
In a Roman environment that it was not.
No.
Like that's like if you go back and look at some of the early writings of historians who were talking about, and some were trying to figure out what to do with the Christians. And one of the things that one of the early, I don't know if it's Pliny the Elder or one of them wrote, is that this group of people get together, and one of the things that they talk about is their fidelity in marriage. It just didn't exist.
No.
The reason why I would say in the early church Christian marriages were so appealing is because so many women married were one of many women were being divorced, dropped, left to fend for themselves, which in that culture was terrible. And so you just see over and over that God's plan from the beginning was that man shouldn't be alone. You see the picture in the garden of the two. You also go to Genesis 1 where God makes man and woman. It doesn't isolate one and then gives them the command to rule together.
Yes.
And so this idea that men don't need women is absolutely, positively absurd.
Yeah, I agree.
Like this idea that you just use women to pass your bloodline along, but don't let them come get their hooks in what you are. Like that is just not only selfish, but I think it's almost insane. Like my wife, I want to say, so compliments me, not compliment, but compliment. That's not bad.
You work together.
She's not complimenting me, but we compliment each other so well. I would not be who I am and where I am today without her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have an advantage without her.
Yeah.
It's absurd to me to think, too, that you get further ahead by using women rather than recognizing how much you need a partner, how much you need somebody in your life to come, to help you. And so I totally categorically reject it. I just think it was important for us to have this conversation because these are influencers, and in the vacuum that we have right now in society when it comes to masculinity, there is a vacuum. Sometimes it's going to be the loudest voice. It's going to be influential voices. It's going to be men who look at him and posing in pictures with all these beautiful women.
By the way, his daughters.
And his daughters.
Yeah, and some of the pictures he
Worth,
posted.
Well, he has like 12 kids or something like that. I don't know.
40.
He has 40 kids?
I think what he posted himself, he has 40 plus kids.
40 kids. He's really following Genesis 1. He has 40 kids, but people post in there and him talking about, and they fantasize this world.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have to commit to anybody.
Yeah.
I don't have to be responsible to anybody. This is like, oh, I get to have fun and I get to have lots of women and I get to conquer. And so it appeals to it, like you said, a primal thing inside.
Yes.
But that primal thing is not, the direction that's going to me is dangerous. And I don't think it's what God designed us for.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think that there I do want to acknowledge there is humanity. I'm not talking about men versus women, but I think humanity, there is a desire to cultivate, to build a life out of what we're given, to build things out of, to create things out of nothing. So like that desire is there, but like there's just so much more you can accomplish together. Like you talked about your wife, it's the same for me. Like there's so much more that my wife and I can do together.
Yeah.
And I would be so much further behind, in my opinion, without her presence in my life. No, I know lots of single people. I know that they're very competent and they're doing great things. So like I'm not saying that is the only way, but I'm just saying I am better because of my marriage, not worse because of my marriage. Yeah. And I just think that's an important thing. Now, you touched on this a little, and I know we have probably out of time.
Yeah, we got to wrap it up.
One, and you can rush on if you want to, but we do see, in specifically American culture, Mormons who have a polygamous view.
I think we should save this for a whole nother podcast.
Okay. Because there's a lot of TV shows that are coming out now, like Real Mormon Housewives. Yeah. There is pretty much every Old Testament hero.
I've sent some to you recently.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do we let's do this. I think we should save that for a whole nother podcast. Here we'll say, if you are listening or watching this and you go, I would love to know how I should think about the idea of polygamy.
Yeah.
And I think what we have culturally is that, I want to say mostly, not all of the cultures in the West, but mostly it's considered taboo.
Yes, it is.
I would say generally speaking.
Yes. I think you see a rise in it.
Well, I think stuff like Andrew Tate.
Polyamory, polyamorous relationships, open relationships.
Kind of ebb and flow in culture as it kind of like is lost and figuring its way. And so I wouldn't be surprised if something like that ever did become popular again. Yeah. You know, maybe it won't be marriage because of the legal ramifications, as Andrew Tate would say. So let's save that. That could get really spicy because I think it'd be really fascinating to kind of pull in and go, how should we think about this in regards to the Bible? Yeah. Because I think that there's a few places in there that it would be kind of interesting to try to unpack and say, where does that leave you?
Let's do that.
So maybe we'll save that for another time. But thanks for jumping on here with me and just talking about this cultural moment. Yep. And what that means, like, you know, what do we take away from it other than just a funny meme or something maybe you've shared or people getting on there and leaving vitriol comments? I think it's always good to process these a little bit deeper. And I think marriage is important. I think it's valuable. I think protecting it matters.
It does.
I think remembering or recognizing the consequences before you do something, anything, is always really wise thing to do.
It is.
Yep. Yeah. So thanks for joining us. Thank you for joining us for this conversation, the Coldplay, what do we call this? The Coldplay catastrophe. The Coldplay catastrophe that happened. If you would like to know a little bit more, if you would like to hear us dialogue a little bit more about where we left off. Polygamy.
If you have specific questions about that.
Please send them in. You can email podcast@thex.church if you want to. But thanks for joining us for this conversation. Until next week, we'll see you later.
Hey guys, it's Russ. Thanks so much for listening. We really believe if we can get around tables instead of behind screens, if we can talk to each other instead of at each other, we can make the world better. To help us do that, here are a few things you can do to help. First, if you haven't yet, leave a review on Apple or Spotify and hit subscribe on YouTube. This helps more than you know. Also, if you have been impacted by the community out of which this podcast comes, that's X Church. Maybe you're local or you've been touched by the messages and impact across the country, even the world, I want to encourage you to support this work. A powerful life principle is to invest in the people and places that invest in you. And so I want to invite you to do that right now by going to thex.church/give. You can give a one-time small gift, a sacrificial gift, or even become a recurring partner. Together, let's keep elevating the conversation, thinking higher, loving deeper, and making the world better. Cheers.